is everybody? You guys okay? Everyone okay? What you working on, Miss Sarah? Doing notes?
I'm learning commands. Well, not really learning. I'm just playing around in the design aspect for social media. So that's what I'm doing. Yay.
Adriana, Eileen, how are you? Tim, welcome. You guys, turn your cameras on if you could, so we can see.
Thanks, Dan.
Oh, God, it's so low attendance today. Everyone's just sleeping. It's all right. We always start late. And here they come rolling in like thunder. How was your weekend, Miss Adriana?
It was good. It was good. I had an open house and I had a lot of traffic, and hopefully she got multiple offers between yesterday and today, and hopefully she gets her house sold today.
You guys doing the same one, Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What did you think of the house?
What was that?
What'd you think of the house?
So on Friday, I did Friday and Saturday. Friday, I only got 2 people. And one person told me that was the 10th. So that person told me 10 offers they had put, and they haven't won any offer. And Saturday, I had a lot of buyers that came with realtors. So they were interested. I mean, they were there. So it was on their list. So hopefully she gets some people thought it was a little bit overpriced for the neighborhood, but they love the bathroom, the upgrades, and the barn door. I don't know. How was your experience, Sarah?
So I had a couple people. There was only about 4 people who came in. The last 2, one guy was fun, very, very interesting fellow he was. But yeah, half of them had agents with them, which I thought was very impressive for the agent's part. And actually, I mentioned earlier, one of the agents was taking their client to 15 different listings that day, which I did not. I just felt like that was too much and unnecessary. But anyway, I did hear too, it might have been overpriced. Some of the upgrades could have been a little bit more upgraded, I guess, but overall it's a cute little house. Fantastic little house, actually.
And then I think Renee's went under contract this weekend as well. Once you didn't open house.
Not officially yet. We've submitted a counter. We're on both sides of this deal. So, but there's another possible offer coming in today. So we shall see what happens.
It's okay. If the other offer's stronger, just send your buyers my way for a backup.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, guys. It is Monday, November 2nd, which means we are in a brand new month. We're in a brand new week, and it's a brand new day for you to do something awesome. What are you going to do with it?
Just trying to stay on top of everything I'm doing right now.
I'm proud of you for soldiering on. You got deals in escrow, and you're working them. That's all I could ever ask. Speaking of deals in escrow, there were some claims being made about some deals that you were going to close out by the end of the year, and some how many deals are going to get into escrow by the end of the year. Where are you at on those goals?
I'm still dreaming about them.
Time to wake up and get into action, right?
I'm doing what I can.
That's all we can ask. Do what you can. The good thing is our brains will limit our abilities because it's always going to judge us on what the, hold on a second. Someone's trying to log in and they cannot. It's always going to judge us on past experiences. Who we were yesterday is not going to get us to where we want to go tomorrow. So we must become different people. We must evolve our abilities. And that comes from daily execution and practice on the fundamentals. On a show of hands, the 3 of you with cameras on, well, the 4th person is in the other area. Kidding, there's 5 of you. Are you doing daily script and role play?
Yes. Not as many as others.
Growing.
Say it again.
Do you feel like your confidence is growing?
Somewhat, yes.
With every transaction.
With every, that's perfect. With every transaction, that's what it's all about. Is every day it's growing and dreaming and becoming a better person. So that's all in benefiting yourself, your family, the clients you work with is always growing, always growing, always growing. So if you're moving forward or you're sliding backwards, you're going to be uncomfortable. I've gone over the pain pleasure graph before. We're going to do it again so I can show you because it's important. So you're going to see my super good drawing skills. You ready for these? Thumbs up if you can see a whiteboard. Right. Here's you right here.
Hey, real quick, Dan, just so you know, I actually went to the PC on the website that they send out notifications of meetings. That's why I was trying to come through your meeting and it wasn't letting, it just says host is in another meeting. Just throwing it out there. Just.
Huh. That's not cool.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I had to talk to Kayla and go to the website.
Yeah, we'll try to get that resolved because as we're going through these, we want to make sure we can get into them. So
Yeah, I just want to make sure that just in case people are trying to get in through that, they're going to be unsuccessful.
well, let's do something right quick. Like we're going to throw out a different invite link because this is what it should be. Invite, copy link, group me, down my calls. Anyone else have issues getting in this? Or how did you get in? I should ask.
I went through 1KWSA. It was fun.
Yeah, me too.
I went through the group me.
Me too. I always go through 1KWSA because I always get in there.
Okay, yeah, there's got to be something going on.
I used the text message thing that came through.
Right? Okay, I got to figure out what Zoom's doing some kind of weird stuff lately, so I am going to send it out again.
No worries. I know I can go to 1KWSA, but I was in my email already, so I just went to the link there, and then it wouldn't let me in, which is why I thought it was showing me, but it wasn't showing anybody else. So
that's good to know. It's good to know the feedback so we can get it corrected because this is what happens. I would much rather be in the room with you so I know that you guys made it in the right room so I can scare you in person. It's a whole lot better that way. Anyways, we're going to go back to this pain pleasure threshold thing. So, all right. Whiteboard, thumbs up. You good? You guys all see yourselves here pretty after the South Beach diet looking good?
Yeah.
Me, because I don't have hair. This is you in comfort, right? Fantastic. This is
nice
us.
chicken scratch.
Right. We can either go, we can regress and slide into, we're going to put D for discomfort because we're currently in comfort, right? We're in comfort and then we're slowly becoming uncomfortable. Or we can climb. We can grow our business. And this right here is discomfortable because we have to change. It's uncomfortable. We're in discomfort. And as we become discomfort, we grow, again, slowly growing until we become comfortable again. Notice there is no even keel. You're just on a road, right? There is no staying. You're either going upwards or downwards. But no matter where you go, you're either moving towards comfort, through discomfort, or you're sliding from comfort into discomfort. There's no such thing as staying the same. So I'm going to ask you guys to challenge yourselves to grow. And this is what they call grow. Yeah, I'm really good at pen drawing, if you can't tell. And this is DK. If you want to draw yourself your own map of that, it's a lot easier to see. But the matter that we're trying to get around is the fact that either you're going to evolve who you are, you're going to become uncomfortable in the changes, and that's doing things purposefully outside of the entrepreneurial aspect and gaining ground towards comfort, a new level of comfort, or you're going to do the things that are comfortable to you. You're going to stay where you're at because that's comfort, that's home, that's life. That's where I've stayed. And you're going to start to slide backwards into decay and discomfort. Either way, you're going to wind up uncomfortable. So where would you like to end up? At a higher level of comfort or decay? Michael Whining and I had a conversation the other day about this. I just saw he just joined on the call. And I love that he goes, being rich is hard. Being broke is hard. Choose your hard. Is that about right, Mike? I mean, it's along the same lines of this conversation. It's no matter what you're doing, move forward. And Mike hasn't said it in a while. We haven't seen his office, but in his office behind his computer was a board there. It says 1% every day. If you just improve 1% every day at the end of the year, you're 36 times better than you were. Because it expounds. Like if you're at 100 today, you're at 101, and then at 101.1 or 102, 104, 100, whatever, it grows and grows and grows and grows. You're not just 1%, 1%, 1%, but it's growing upon itself.
Compounding interest.
Compounding interest. And that's an interest you pay in yourself. And that's every day you need to dedicate time every single day to feed your soul, to feed your brain, and to fuel your body.
I can't stress enough the feed your soul and self-care. That's huge. I lack it. I lack doing the things that I need to do, and it shows in performance and keeping your head straight and being creative, and everything starts getting stressed out at that point.
Creativity is where we find results to things, guys. We can start becoming creative when we have established a good routine of the fundamentals. Everyday scripts and role play. Every day. Everyday lead generation. Every day, right? Every day you need to follow up with the conversations and commitments you've had before. And every day you need to be doing something that's going to further your business. I hate to tell you this, but Selling Sunset on Netflix is not educational, and it does not count towards training. It's entertainment. You just sit there and watch people sell houses instead of doing it yourself. If that's how you feed your soul, we need to change your habits. But that's one thing I want you guys to think about in the next couple of weeks is how many days left do you have right now where you can get a contract accepted and get it to close by the end of the year?
A little.
How many days?
20 days.
59.
12.
So 59 days. Amber's closing something out in a day and a half.
Well, you get cash buyers.
Cash buyer with a 2-day close, you got 50.
That's right, Michael.
Here's the thing is how positioned are you to take that client and get them to close? Some of the new agents on the call, I don't want you to get spooked by this because it's not odd that somebody picks up a client, calls me up and says, Dan, I got a buyer. I don't know what to do. How do we get there? I help you write a contract. We close a deal. Has it happened before?
Absolutely.
Has it happened to you yet? Mike has sat in my office a few times and we've called clients, we've called lenders, and we've called the other agents together to get it done because he wasn't sure what to do. And now he just takes those exact messages and moves on. Other agents call me up and say, hey, Dan, I need help. So do not let fear of the unknown keep you from doing what you need to do to be successful. And unfortunately, and I don't even have to sit down and talk to every one of you independently to find this out, the fear of the unknown is what keeps you in action. It's not knowing what to do that'll keep you from doing it. Be bold, take risks, know that you have a safety net. All you got to do is get a fish on the line. I will help you reel it in. The brokers will help you reel it in. David, Jay, other agents on this call will help you read. And I want to say thank you to those that are helping. It shines awesome that you guys are able to help each other. But do not, and I do mean do not let inactivity keep you from doing what you need to do to be successful. And that's part of feeding your business. So that was the fourth thing. That's why we lead gen every day. Consistency. What's easier, 2 hours a day or hitting the ground running the last day of the year, the last day of the month, just trying to get numbers to get up? Or would you rather just sail home well ahead of your goal? I talk in a lot of analogies, but I want you guys to set it home. Okay, let me ask you, what does that look like? If you've got 45 days, this is an average, 45 days left in the year for contracts, because there's some breaks and holidays, what's it look like to get somebody to write a contract with you today, tomorrow, or the next day, and close it by the end of the year? Do you know somebody, or do you have somebody in your pipeline now you can call and see if we can't push that along?
Hey, Dan, actually, hi, this is Shannon. On that point, so I have 2 people right from the open house that did not have agents. And I called them Sunday, like after the open house, they didn't pick up. And I emailed them already today with like information and, hey, let's get together. When should I call them again without it me being like a crazy stalker?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
The way I look at leads, and this is a great segue. I love it. You guys are going to have leads, and I want to talk about lead generation devices for you now. When you're dealing with leads, they asked you for help. It is your responsibility to get a hold of them. They came into the open house. It is your responsibility to follow up with them. So you don't sound like a crazy stalker. What you're doing is you're servicing their need. Hey, you asked for help, you asked for questions, I'm here to help you. And when you're doing lead follow-up, I like the term buy or die. Or sell or die.
And persistence. They'll understand that if you're calling them nonstop, that means they know that you're going to probably call a nonstop for them to go buy a house or find a house. So persistence is always key. And until they say, stop calling me, that's when I'm like, okay, I'll back off. But I mean, I give it a week too, of, hey, just reaching out, that type of thing. But just like we had a do not call list type conversation last meeting, it's one of those things where persistence sometimes will put you above other agents that are not persistent.
You guys know on average how long it takes to get a hold of somebody?
17 days?
No.
Okay. Group, give me some answers.
I'm going to say 30.
Okay.
15 to 20.
15 to 20? 15 to 20 days or 15 to 20 contacts?
Contacts.
Okay. Jennifer's already going to kick the shit out of most of you, and I love it. Guys, welcome Jennifer. Jennifer's a new agent.
Hello, I just signed on Friday. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've got a buyer that needs a house, and I'm like, I don't know how to help you. Give me a day to learn what I need to do. And then I've got a friend who's selling a house that's like, bring me a buyer. And I'm like, I don't even know where to find buyers yet. Hold on, I'll get back to you. Give me 24 hours.
Good. Right there. You got friends already. So let's talk and then you and I get it lined out. And I was want to talk. There's a lot of new agents that just do that same thing. I got someone who's looking, they want to buy and they want to sell and they want to do something. I don't know where to start. You know how you start?
Yep.
I need help.
Dan, help. I don't know.
You grow in fear.
I say, what are they looking for, Jennifer? Your buyers.
Okay, so I have a buyer that needs a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in Oro Valley, and he's got a super small price range. So I told him to go on, because he used to be a veteran, so I'm trying to get him to see if he can qualify for a VA loan right now. He's online, and then he's supposed to get back to me today to see if he qualifies for a VA loan, because he doesn't have like anything to put down. And then I have a friend that is up in the foothills that has a $425,000 house that's currently for sale. He's had three offers that were about to close, and it was supposed to close last week. And they came all the way from out of state with their moving truck, saw it, and completely canceled the day before it was supposed to close. So he's like, help. He bought a new house. He needs a buyer right now.
There you go. Let's find him a buyer.
Thanks,
Yep, I
Jen.
told him I need to figure out, I need to get my MLS set up and something with, I think I need to pay my TAR and all that stuff. Cause I literally am so brand new. Like I just started out Friday.
This is how we start. I wrote a contract on my first day. Guess what? I did not do it right. So to go back on to the conversation, going back in the conversation, how many attempts it takes and calls, 90% of your interactions are going to be over the phone. 90%, if not more. It's going to take you at least 8 phone calls to reach a client the first time. An average, 8 phone calls before you ever talk to them. And then at least don't give up. Because on average, 5 more attempts and 5 more follow-ups before you gain any kind of agreement. So now Jen was right, 25 to 30. So right now we're on average 13 to 15 contacts, attempts or contacts, before we get some kind of agreement. An agreement could be just as much as, yes, I will have a meeting with you to sit down and talk about the buying and selling process. And then we go into the MRE standards of, 70% of those people are going to, turn into agreements. 70% of those agreements are going to turn into contracts. 70% of those contracts are going to close. Now we can work backwards to find out what kind of activities you need to do every day to gain agreements to close deals. And it's all centered around one thing, 92% of it. What is it?
Reaching out.
If you guys aren't looking at my camera, the answer is literally in front of you.
Picking up the phone.
Picking up the phone. All right, when was the last time you screened a phone call? You're like, nope, not answering it. And then waited to see if they left the voicemail.
Haven't done it since I've been in the business.
What was that, Tess?
Every single time.
So I've got one that never answers and I got one that never doesn't. And I can tell you who's making more. Don't be afraid of answering your phone and having a call, because that's how people are going to respond to you in the way you tone out. Do you leave voice messages every time you call?
Yes.
Okay. It's important to do so, because why? Us as consumers, we as consumers are going to clear phone calls and then wait for a voicemail. I don't want to talk right now. I don't have time to talk right now. And then when they text, are you not relieved that they texted you? You're like, I don't have to call them back now. They texted me, right? Head nods. Am I on to something?
Yep.
I'm not speaking a different language. Am I? Am I talking sales? Am I talking people?
I usually leave a voicemail and then follow it up with a text, because the likelihood of them answering the text or seeing it is way higher than them calling in a voicemail. Same with me. I mean, you shoot me a text, I'll respond right away.
Exactly. I want you guys to think about that. When somebody calls you and they leave a voicemail, you're irritated because you have to listen to the voicemail. Unless you have some kind of text agent to voicemail where it turns it to a text, and then your voicemails fill up, and then you become unprofessional because now you can't leave a voicemail because the person you have reached at his voicemail is full. Please hang up and try again. Annoying. Don't be that person. But then when somebody calls you and they leave a voicemail and then they text you, you feel a sense of relief because you're like, oh, great. Now I know what it's about. I can respond or not respond. And then I can just go delete the voicemail.
I will say this is one of those areas that Shannon and I had this conversation. I'm in the process of trying to I was starting to use Second Line, but there's just too many advertisements. So I'm looking at getting Google Voice, because if I have a separate phone number that's just the inquiries, related to real estate, then I will answer those. But I'm not going to answer them on my regular phone number.
If it sells, I turn it around on them. Whatever they're selling me, I'm trying to find a buyer or a seller on them. And 9 times out of 10, they'll hang up on you and they'll never call you back.
Yeah, I have a Google Voice number and I've strayed away from using it.
Same.
So you just have one phone number and that's it?
I've only been using, and I even have an out-of-state number. So the only issue I have with an out-of-state number is sometimes people don't want to answer it the first time, but.
Same thing.
I have actually 2 phone number. I have 2 phones, only because I really like to keep my personal and my private, but I have an out-of-state one. And I was fearful because nobody wants to recognize that. So.
Yeah. I'll put my Tucson one on like marketing materials, but other than that, I just use my 319. Like on my business card, I just have my Iowa phone number right now.
So we've kind of identified a lot of issues with follow-up and lead gen.
And part of my issue,
go ahead.
I'll just note that part of my issue with having 2 phone numbers was that like I would call from one, but then like Google Voice isn't the greatest, like especially at the office. It always wants to call from a different number because I have really bad service in there. So that's why I've just gone back to my Iowa number for now.
Yeah, do what works.
So it confuses people if you have 2 numbers, is what I found.
Yeah, the command, I've been texting you guys on the command thing, and half you text back to it when you need something and they don't respond because I don't get the notifications. So I'm like, this is annoying. I apologize about that. It's just a system thing. But what we're doing is I want you guys to realize that it's super important to follow up with people beyond the conversation. And we're kind of all over the place today, but we're trying to get back into what do you need to do between now and 15 days from now to get a contract in place that can close by the end of the year. And that's going to be going back to the people you've already met, talked to, and worked on in the past and re-engaging them. I'm sorry, but calling somebody up and saying, hi, my name is Big Dan Caldwell. We met an open house a couple ways. I want to see if you're still interested in buying a house. Do you care about that relationship at all? Does that person think you care about the relationship at all?
No.
How does that call look if you pick up the phone and say, hey, it's Big Dan Caldwell, Keller Williams. I hope you're not talking on a sledgehammer. This is Big Dan Caldwell, Keller Williams. I just want to call and check on things. How you been? Assume they're still looking. How's the home search going? Great. How's your kids? Fantastic. How's your dog? How's work going? What are you doing to stay busy? What are you guys going to do after the elections?
Always ask about the dog.
Always ask about
Oh my God.
But that's the thing is if you are not actively creating relationships, you will not have a long-term business. I had a listing appointment, what was it? Friday? I was out there in 3 Points. I don't know, Friday? The listing appointment took 15 minutes, and that was walking through the house. I could have been in and out, signed paperwork and done. $500,000 house. Boom, 15 minutes. I was there. Hey, name is Dory. I was there for an hour and a half. Why do you think I invested the other hour and 15 minutes?
Building relationships.
This 80-year-old man probably has me in his will right now. His name is Sandy. He goes by Sandy. He was a biker. He was in the Navy. I think that's what they called him. He kept saying I was in the bees for 20 years. I don't know military talk. I was going to call Amber and get some help. I was like, what is he talking about?
Isn't that Seabees?
Seabees?
Seabees. It's Navy.
Navy.
Seabees, Navy.
So I knew I was close. I'm not military. I got that. I told him, I was like, sir, I don't really understand what you're saying, but I know motorcycles, I know guns, and I know fighting. And we hooked up on that. The guy's 80 years old, and he told me every life story he's ever had. He talked about his wife and everything. I learned about his animals. I learned about his dog. I learned about his horse, and it was a blood relative of Seabiscuit. And he showed me where he buried his dog, like all these things. Because 16 minutes into our conversation, he said his wife saw an ad on TV where they could just list their house for a few $1,000s. So he was doing the math and he knew there was a $15,000 delta I was working against. Do you think that TV advertisement's going to spend an hour and a half talking to this 80-year-old man standing in the hot sun? I got sunburnt to a crisp on Friday about every story in his life. I made him cry. We were sitting there talking about his best friend. I made him tear up. The man gave me a hug. It's about creating relationships, not just buying and selling real estate. And this meeting came after no less than 15 attempts for me to reach this guy. And that's me calling him, me calling his wife, texting him, texting his wife, sending letters. I thought he blew me off. I've had the listing book on my desk now for 3 months. Because when they first called in, they're like, hey, we're looking to sell our house. You were referred to us by one of our friends. Okay, great. And then as soon as I walk up, I knock on the door, he opens, he goes, you're not so big. Joking about Big Dan, he's all, I'm so sorry it's taken us so long to get together. It was the commitment and following up and following through. But then it was about creating the relationship, not just getting right to the pay and getting out. I'm not here to show you guys how to sell one house. I'm absolutely here to help you build a business, create referrals, because you know that people that ask and actively ask for referrals make 4 to 5 times as much as those who don't. 90% of your clients are going to be okay giving you a referral. 11% of you are going to ask. A listing book test is when you reach out the title and say, hey, can I get a listing book? And then they just give you a book of all the assessor's information, so it's printed out. But it goes back to
you do that, Wendy? You said you had that one on your desk for like 3 months or something. What prompted you? At what point did you do that?
As soon as he said they were looking to sell their house, because it's part of my process of going out there and doing a listing presentation. Is I get a listing book and I get a CMA and I get all the documents put together so that when I go out there, I have everything. That is my commitment in closing that deal, is I ordered everything to go out there and get that deal. I'm not going to go out there and see how it goes and then figure it out. I'm going to go out there with the intention of cutting a head off and then taking it home as a trophy. I don't play in real estate, but I can tell you that I will make more friends in real estate than I will anywhere else. I will make more friends with your friends than you will. Give me the chance to talk to them. I met Jennifer. I think you guys are married or on the way to be married. Jennifer's fiance, Chris.
Chris, yeah.
Because he drove in front of me one day in traffic, and he owns a solar company, and they installed the solar on my house. This was 5-6 years ago. We stayed friends. He even came to me. He was trying to buy a truck. Tried working it out. Tried to make it happen. But we stayed friends. And then all of a sudden, bam. Now she's like, hey, I'm thinking about getting real estate. And we had the chance to talk again and make more friends. It's all about relationships. Now you guys need to think about, okay, who is in my pipeline today I can call and make a relationship that'll give me the best chance of getting a deal closed by the end of the year. If you ask yourself that question every day and you execute on it, and you go and you look in your databases and you find that one person or those 2 people you can call and just build upon that relationship, check in on them, see how they're doing. Ask them how Halloween was. Have a reason to call that's not just your own success. Like, you guys buying your house yet? You ready to buy a house yet? You ready to buy a house yet? No. We go back to Ignite training. And those of you who haven't taken it, you will. It starts up in a couple of weeks. Where do most people find their agents? And I mean like 60+%.
Your sphere.
Sphere.
In the sphere. Friends. Let's break it down to a simple word. They're friends. So what are you doing to create friendships? What are you doing to create lasting relationships beyond this transaction? being the economist of choice, being the realtor of choice goes a long way. I'm going to use Renee's team lead, Jason. Renee works with Jason Carlton, the Jason Carlton team. Jason Carlton is one of the best lead generators I have ever met. And what does he do every day, Renee?
He generates.
Every.
I mean, you guys, he's getting listings, and he lives in St. Louis now. We have 3 more upcoming listings.
The man's 1,500 miles away.
If you can live 1,500 miles away and get listing appointments, you can do it in the city.
And all it is Jason goes out of his way to meet people, get to know them, and then start talking about real estate. I have seen it in action.
And a lot of his recent ones have been people that he's consistently contacted for 2 years, and he doesn't always get a response. And then it's like, boom, they're ready. Like the buyers that we have putting an offer on a house right now hadn't talked. I mean, he's talked to them. They, are not consistent with responding, but now they're buying a house and we're putting in an offer. So consistency is key.
If you spend the next 2 years calling somebody every month and leaving a voicemail, what is that? 30 minutes of your time? And let's say they want to put in an offer. Average price point, $200,000. That means that you're going to spend 30 minutes writing the offer, 30 minutes in phone calls trying to get them engaged in the last 2 years, and maybe an hour or 2 in showing houses and doing some driving around. So that's 3 hours invested to make $6,000. What is your average rate per hour?
200.
Add a 0.
2,000.
Oh, 1,000. Sorry, I was dividing it by 30 days. So.
Even if you put in 30 hours of work to cultivate this client, and that means you'd have 30 hour-long conversations with him to make a $6,000 transaction. What is that? $200 an hour? Raise your hand if you make $200 an hour anywhere else. Anywhere else. That last part in there.
Got me.
I did get you. My highest dollar per hour ever at a job was $83 an hour. $83 an hour. That's a lot of money. It's $166,000, $167,000 a year. I would be pissed if I made that. $88 an hour. I'm not doing this job for $88 an hour. $200 an hour? No, now you're talking. But if you can consistently do the work and you can consistently get yourself clients that are doing that, and you're looking at it, my dollar per hour activities, every time I am working on real estate, this is calling people, lead generating, creating campaigns, following up, sending letters, sending emails, door knocking, doing open houses, any of that bullshit for $200 an hour? Sign me up. I'm in. Who else is in? Now let's make it a little bit better. Let's say that doesn't take you that long and you get one closed out after 3 conversations. Now you've moved up into the $12, $14, $2,500 an hour. Is that worth your time? If you do not know who Danny Roth is, I advise you to learn that man makes $25,000 to $3,000 an hour for his dollar productive activities consistently. That man makes more than $2 million a year and he doesn't work 30 hours a week. Would you like to get there? What do you think it starts with?
Picking up the phone.
Thank you. Jen's got it. Pick up the phone, guys. When somebody calls you, pick up the phone. Amber, I'm going to brag a little bit. Amber got a referral that got sent to me today. Calls up, says, hey, Dan, this is Michael Moore. I remember Michael Moore. I almost made the joke about his movies. I was like, I loved your movies, but I know it wasn't him. This is Michael Moore from KW El Paso, I think it was. Looking for a referral. I was like, great. What area of town? Northeast. Okay, great. Tell me a little bit about your client. All right, military, looking for this, military relocation. So I thought in myself, who are all my military relocation people? And then I thought, okay, who do I know that's working in the Northeast lately? That's all. The perfect person for is Amber Harvey. I'll send you her contact. It was just that situation where he said, Dan, you're the third person I've called. I was in my truck having a heated discussion with somebody, and then the phone rang. I said, hold on a second. Answered it. 45 seconds later, hung up, and bam, now one of my agents has a lead. And I've done that to Mike. I've done that to a couple people because they pop in my head. Hell, Renee closed one of my race car buddies.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until like we were closing. So
yeah, somebody I used to do illegal activities with and race on the streets. I'm just like,
okay, and I'll just throw this in there is like you can get leads anywhere. Like Jason told me a story of how he was out driving with his niece. She has her had her driver's permit at the time, and the car stalled. And we've now sold their listing, that one of their rental houses, and we're in the process of getting their next house listed. And the only reason they met is because they were stalled in the middle of nowhere, Arizona. And somebody stopped by to help them.
it's because he made a friend and continued the relationship.
Yeah.
I know his line. Hey, I've really enjoyed our conversation. Do you mind if I follow up with you?
Yep.
And he gets contact information. That man has never met a stranger. I want you to be the same way. But he does. He spends at least 2 hours a day in follow-up. He sends 100 cards a week. 100. That's like $300 a month in just postage and stamps. It's a lot of licking fingers, guys. Come on now.
He has his niece write all of them for him, though. So
What do we call that?
Leverage.
Yep.
All right,
She
so-
helped get my command together too. So
If you guys need help getting leverage, let's talk about it. If your business is growing to the point where you can't sustain where you're at without additional help, we'll talk about leverage, and we're going to go off the guide. This is what coaching does for you. But we have to get to that point. And it all starts with picking up the phone. Have you ever thought to yourself, I wish I had a poll. Have you ever thought to yourself, I don't know who to call today?
I do.
I got one on
Sometimes.
for some
Not
things.
every day, but sometimes I do that.
Sometimes I don't know who to call today. There is a program that you guys can use. It's called the DTD2. Do the database 2 times a year, 4 times a year, on our Facebook page, Keller Williams Southern Arizona Facebook. On the announcements is the list of numbers to call, or list of names. And there are people in your phone you have not talked to since you put them in your phone. I guarantee it. Because I look on this screen, although I only see 5 moving faces, and I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I know the rest of you are scared of having your cameras on. What's up, Chad Casper? You can't hear me.
What, me?
No, Chad, Mike's at an inspection.
hi, Chad.
I know for a fact that you have people in your phone you haven't talked to because none of you, myself included, none of you are Danny Roth. And I know that he talks to everybody who's in his phone, and that's why that man sells 300 houses a year. I know you don't want to get that big, Tess. I get it. But I'd also like for me to know that you never have to worry about money ever in your life. That you do this for the passion of doing it, not for the paycheck you get. We shine light on the potential we have in our careers, and we can grow them into bigger things. Money is good for the money is only as good as the good it can do. How much good do you want to do in your life? How much do you want to give back? I did my first round of $100 tips this last weekend. And I told you guys to do it every holiday season. I start doing. I'll give a server a $100 tip. Leave it in cash. They don't have to claim it. And it was at freaking Applebee's. I haven't been to Applebee's in years, and I will not go back because I reminded myself of why I don't go to Applebee's. What I did is that this lady was just having a tough time. She was having a tough go. You could tell she was just having a bad day. And I was in a position where I was able to help. And that's where it felt good to me. I would have much rather her never have known I was the one that did it. Because that's just how it needs to be. But it's because I make enough to give enough out. And I have to make more phone calls and close more deals so that I can give back to others. I've been at a place in my life, and you guys, some of you have heard the stories where I've been living in my dad's house after selling most of the things I owned to pay my bills, being kicked out of my last house when my relationship ended, getting rid of my dogs, getting rid of my motorcycles, selling most of my guns, getting rid of everything I've ever dreamed about because I made bad mistakes, and working like hell to climb back out of that hole. I know what darkness looks like. So I remind myself to do the things every day that I need to do so that I can be successful. And that's the question I ask. Who can I talk to today to create a relationship that'll yield what I need for tomorrow? And you guys have the lucky misfortune of being my agents, where I get to motivate the shit out of you so you guys can go be soldiers out there and pound the streets and make friends and create this awesomeness that's going to grow Keller Williams. It's going to grow your life. It's going to grow your business. And then one day, you yourself will have a team of agents underneath you, and you will be doing the same thing. It all starts with picking up the phone. Every mega agent I've ever talked to said the same damn thing. I made relationships. I followed up with them. So what's the next few days need to look like to put you in a better position to get another contract by the end of the year? Is your picture a little clearer now? I'm either gonna push you into success or push you out of this business. I know it. But the fact that you show up every time tells me you're going somewhere. And I'm proud of that. And the people that push me to push you are scarier than I am. One of these days, I'll let you in that call. It's not fun. Her name is Deb Jolly, and her name is a misnomer. But I want you to really think about, how do I close out this year? We focus on the end of things, the end of the month, the end of the year, the end of the race. God, I'm almost out of gas, the end of the toothpaste. You guys all know that toothpaste lasts, like, you got 90% of the use is in the last quarter inch, right? Because you squeeze everything out of it you can. Let's do that to your months. Let's do that to your years. Let's do that to your database. We are at the end of the year. Let's make it happen. And then let's focus every month in the same way. What do I need to do to close this month out? Make another 4, 5, 6, 10 transactions. Pastor Kim got 7 or 8 in escrow right now.
So does anybody have any buyers that are looking for 4-2 single in Vail and a 5-3 in Vail as well? One coming up in on November 12th, and the other one's December 1st.
Yeah, as soon as you get some photos and some more details, put it in the group chat and put it on our Facebook page. I know.
If anyone has anything coming up under like 140, let me know too.
No, we just went under contract 106, so we'll be at 170s when we're done.
Huh?
3-2.
And I have buyers for East Side. They love the mid-century modern older home. I know it's hard to do, but their budget is $275, but they're looking for a 4-2, but they'll settle for a 3-2.
Has to be mid-century central.
Well, they don't have to be, but they love the 85710, 85730. Those older homes, they love. But it's got to be I wouldn't say updated completely, but it's got not a whole lot of work to do.
Sounds like you got some door knocking.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. If you guys got a buyer for a neighborhood, go find them a listing.
I know. That's what I was thinking about doing.
Hey, meet Mr. Jones. He's looking to buy a house in this neighborhood. He is desperate to live in your neighborhood. Who do you know that's showing signs of wanting to sell? And guess what? Mr. Jones can be any one of us. You really want to have a fun time? Take another agent door knocking.
I want to do that. Does anybody want to door knock with me? I'm not going to do it.
I do.
I do.
I'm not doing it by myself. I'm not doing it.
I would too.
I'm in Vail.
Sarah's on the northeast.
I'm in
Who's in
Vail.
Vail?
Jennifer, I'm in Vail. I live in Vail.
Take your camera.
All right.
Can you turn the camera on real quick? Are you in a place you can do that? So
I'm
they
at work.
I'm in Vail too.
Yeah,
I'm not in Vail, but I did a little bit of door knocking up in Red Rock this weekend.
Red Rock. Oh, that's way on the opposite side.
Are there any?
Oh no, I know, but
properties in
I'm willing to door knock wherever though.
Oh, okay.
But this is where we get the community of the team right here, the PC team.
Yeah.
Group together and go out there and do stuff. Mike, I want to say thank you so much for this morning. Mike beat me to the text. What were your wins this weekend? And I can't tell you how much that made me smile waking up and seeing that text was already sent by one of the agents.
Oh yeah.
Because that just shows like this is a community. It's not a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
You all benefit from your own successes, but we can group up as a team to get you there.
Okay.
And that's why
so-
we're going to close 50 deals in December. Because the program has never done that, and every one of you deserve to get a deal. There are now 56 of us. We got new family members all the time, like Tim. He's been kind of quiet, but he's just observing. New member last week. Jen, new member last week. Jacob, new member like a week and a half ago. Did his first open house. He borrowed Big Dan signs. That had to be fun conversation.
Jacob and Shannon.
And
did
Shannon.
one too.
Shannon did open houses. These are things.
She used our signs last weekend.
I actually used Danny Ross signs this week, and I'm bringing them back to the office tomorrow.
Yeah, you jumped right in.
You don't need to have anything to be successful. You have those around you that are willing to give of theirs to help you out.
I have
right
lots
now,
of
5 of my lock boxes are being used by you guys. And that
If
makes
anyone, I was gonna say, if anyone needs signs, Krista Stevenson Wells has a crap ton of them too.
I have a lot of one directionals too. I just ordered like 10 of them, but I have.
I'm ordering up some
Oh, she
more
has like
program.
40. I had her signs for like 6
I'm a new
months.
agent.
Oh yeah, no, she's on a team. Her team paid for them. So
nice.
Yeah. And I finally gave them back to her because I have Jason's now. So.
Hey, Dan, can I bring up something now?
Yes, ma'am. As long as it's positive.
Oh, well, yeah, no. So can we eventually get to after the listing goes live, we're under contract, we're in the Binzer period, and now we are like, that's where we're at right now, like scripting and how to handle the emotions with the sellers regarding repairs and stuff like that. Because I just feel like I want to make sure I am like helping them, you know, with their dealing with their emotions, and, you know, because you receive the Binzer, there's a list of things, not a long list, but there's so few major things in there. And so, because this is like my first time go around with that.
Okay. I love this conversation. We'll do it right now. Hey, Miss Cindy, I got the request from the other agent right now on the repairs of the house. I'm going to send it over to you for a second for review. Let me know when you get it. Hang up. They get it. Hey, did you guys get a chance to go over that repair request I gave you? What concerns do you have?
Well, Dan, my concern is that The information that they put regarding the HVAC, I just don't agree with, because we just had a lot of work done on our AC over the summer, and I'm just not sure, you know, if they're just trying to pull a fast one over me.
You know what, Mrs. Seller, I completely understand that you may feel that way. I don't ever think that the other side's ever trying to pull a fast one. After all, we're working together to get this deal done. What we're trying to do is just guarantee that they feel comfortable in the investment of your home. Now, when you say that they're pulling a fast one, what are your concerns?
My concern is that perhaps they are asking for certain repairs that possibly don't need to be done, that we don't agree with. We have our AC guy, and he's been out here. He did work on our AC unit. And to me, my house has never felt colder than before. It just feels great.
Okay. Now, if we were to go back to the other side and tell them, hey, this work's already been done, and they still don't want to budge on it, are you willing to let the deal fall apart over that?
Yes. So what I was told by the agent is that, so their AC guy, you know, they do the readings and stuff like that. So there was a difference in the degrees of reading. So theirs was 10 degrees, and it's preferably to be 15 and 20. And then the receipts that I had submitted showing proof of all the work that was done over the summer, they had changed it from an R22 to an R407C. I learned a lot about AC this weekend, by the way. Okay, so they charged for their refrigerant, which you cannot call it Freon anymore. I learned that too. It's no longer Freon. It's supposed to be refrigerant. It's refrigerant. And so what my clients paid for is actually a lot more than what they should have paid if they used the refrigerant for a 407C. So that's concerning on the other side, because then they are a little concerned that perhaps that he put in the wrong refrigerant for R22 when it should have been R407C. So that's where we're at. So if they're gonna, and then he mentioned if they're gonna do the AC work on it, that of course they would prefer not to use the company that my clients used before, only because she's also either viewed or heard some kind of negative feedback on that company. So they're not very trusting of that company as well. What else? I think that
you're dealing with emotions, but that's the thing, is you got to bring it back to the logic side of things. Now, I completely understand that that's the issue. Are you willing to let the deal fall apart over this? Call the other buyer's agent.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer's agent, whatever, done all the report. Here's all the receipts. My sellers don't have the means of getting all this stuff repaired. How can we make this a win-win?
So we also received, they are willing to do a $500 adjustment, basically towards closing costs, but in lieu of repairs, and they would split the cost of the HVAC repairs. Or they also offered $3,500 to cover everything, and then they don't have to do any of the repairs, which could also actually include a microwave in there. We're not sure, because there's some buttons that don't work on the microwave. So if they don't get that fixed, then they'd have to replace the microwave.
That's $200
along with
the Habitat store.
Yeah. Okay.
What kind of loan do the buyers have?
It's a VA loan.
Oh, then
So
that could be an issue. That could be an issue if you don't have repairs. Then that's just something to consider.
We are going to,
I had a VA buyer that the sellers had to replace the whole AC on, even though it worked, because it was beyond repair. And the appraiser wouldn't approve it until the AC was replaced. VA loan. So just a heads up on that. You might want to talk to your lender about what the VA needs in order for an AC to be approved.
Okay. Because it seems to be in working, I mean, it's in working order and everything. I think there just needs to be little things done to it.
Yeah. The one that my buyers had was in working order too, but it was older. And they required the sellers to replace it. So,
oh gosh,
just VA loans are super strict. And another thing with VA loans is that every time they go out there for an appraisal, your buyer has to pay. So my buyer had to pay for 3 appraisals because they missed one crack on a wall to fill. Yeah.
Oh geez.
And they won't take pictures. VA won't. So they had to pay $150 for an appraiser to go out to ensure that the crack was filled in the wall.
That's highway robbery.
It was fun.
Did you? And then the other side of the conversation we had is going back to listing the buyer's agent because they're offering $3,500. This is just
$3,500.
Hey, you guys are offering $3,500. My sellers feel like it's fair to go $2,000 to cover the repairs and get there. Since we've already done a bunch of work to the AC system, how can we make this a win-win?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at one point she did say that she would feel comfortable possibly offering $2,500 and take care of some of the repairs. I haven't spoken to her. She had a family emergency today and we just haven't been able to talk about it.
Call her up and make sure everything's okay at the family.
No, we texted, and when she texted me, I immediately, said, oh no, I hope everything goes well. Please let me know. Do you need me to do anything? Do you need me to make any phone calls and schedule anything? If she needs people to come out to the house. And she's like, no, we'll do that. We'll deal with that tomorrow. I'm like, okay, just a reminder. Did you see my text last night? I just want to remind you that we have our 5-day response. It's due on Thursday. So that's where we're at right now. But I think that the thing is I have, I don't want to say stubborn, strong-willed maybe, seller, where it's like, I don't agree. And I feel that these are repairs that, they feel like why put money towards the closing costs on repairs that they basically don't agree on. So I think they feel like they are leaving money on the table doing that. But we'll see. She did say, maybe, looks like maybe we'll offer $2,500 instead of $3,500. So, but I don't have anything concrete from them just yet. I even had dreams about it. Of course we always do, right?
We always figure it out. So that's one thing is finding out what minor repairs you can do to pacify.
Yeah.
But how you make them feel comfortable. And that's one thing is going back to is a lot of times people know that their house has not been maintenance or there's been issues and they have not maintained for a while. And now it's rearing up and biting them in the ass. It's like, you knew there was an issue with this. The buttons on the microwave don't work. Like these are things that come to pass. Now we are selling the house as is, but some people may walk away from the deal from something so minuscule. Are you willing to let the deal fall apart over something so simple? Let's say we go another month. You got to pay another mortgage payment. How much is that? $1,500, $2,000?
I know, yeah.
Versus just spending a couple $100, getting it fixed, getting it right, and it's a win-win on both sides. You make them happy, the deal, you get your money, you move on.
Yeah, and she was just trying to convince herself or convince me that, that one of the plumbers or inspector, they loosened the bolts on the toilet because they called it out that it was loosened and something under the sink and they messed it up. And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like,
because she knows that these things were wrong and they need to get resolved and people fight back.
Oh yeah, I know. She claims that there was nothing wrong with it before the inspection and now there's something wrong. And I'm like, okay. So I had to clear a few things up. Anyway, so yeah. There's a lot of emotions going on over the weekend.
But that's what I would do is handling the emotions of it, just kind of calming them back down and saying, I understand that there's some things that might not be kosher for you, but there's a lot to risk by not resolving some of these things. It sounds like the toilet, the sink, stuff like that are going to get called out of VA, but easy enough. If she's willing to do $2,500, throw it out there.
Okay.
In lieu of repairs, my sellers are willing to credit your buyer at the close of escrow. I like to go down because I negotiate everything, $2,000. And then you'll get we'll see what we can do. But you have to have good relationship with the other agent too. How do we make this a win-win? Work together, because there's too many people who are like, no.
Yeah. No, he seems very nice and very, I don't want to say friendly, but yeah, on the phone, you know, so. And we were verbally talking about before he sent over the Binzer, so.
Good deal.
You have to repeat what you said. There's a lot at risk here.
There's a lot of risk here if we don't resolve the minor things.
Wait, hold on. There's a lot at risk here. I'm sorry, say it again because I heard Renee too.
There's a lot to risk here if we don't resolve the minor things.
Oh. Got it.
You know, are you willing to let the deal fall apart over blank? Go ahead, Renee.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you're acting as a buyer's agent, just make sure you send your inspections over to the listing agent as soon as you get them. That way the sellers can be semi-prepared for what they're gonna receive back.
Does that help a little bit, Miss Cindy?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, Renee, can you repeat what you just said?
Oh, I just said if you're a buyer's agent, make sure you send over the inspection reports to the listing agent as soon as you get them. That way they can like prepare their sellers for, hey, like this is a major thing that's wrong. Like,
yes,
expect them to request it. Like, I know you're on the listing side. That was just a general.
No, yeah, and he did that. And he did that actually. So he sent them to me right away
yeah.
As soon as they got him. Yeah.
That way you can just prepare your sellers for if there is something major, then you kind of give them the soft blow before they get the Binzer back.
Right.
Awesome, guys. Well, we're a little bit over our call, but we want to answer some of those questions. Please feel free. If you got situations you want to bring out, I would much rather answer them in a group setting so that others can learn and add some insight too.
Yeah.
This is a coaching program, Keller Williams. It's not Big Dan's coaching program. It's Keller Williams. I want to bring everyone involved. I know that I know a lot of shit. It's because I've talked to a lot of people and I learned from everyone else, but it's a group effort because you guys can work together. My goal is to get you guys doing deals together. I love it. I love when you're working both sides of the transaction. It just makes me smile on the inside. Get more listings, see more houses. It gives you a better chance of doing that. But let's focus on the question at hand. What do you need to do? What does it look like for you to put yourself in position to get a contract in that'll close by the end of the year?
Make phone calls.
That is key. Like Jennifer says, pick up your phone. Pick up the damn phone. I probably made 6 phone calls today. So as soon as I hang up here, guess what I'm doing?
Making more calls.
But I have sent 106 emails. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful morning. Teresa, smile. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being part of my family. I hope you got a blessed Halloween and you guys made it a little more energetic than mine was. I had 6 people.
Oh yeah, I hardly had any. Did you finally give your son some candy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Cindy calls me the other, and I'm sitting on my couch, I'm working on something, and my son comes up, he goes, "Daddy, can I have some candy?" I was like, "No, I told you no." And he goes, "Okay, Daddy, love you." Being like, playing the guilt card, hardcore.
Even I heard it. It was so cute. How could you not give him the candy? Come on.
Wasn't disciplinarian. No means no. He got candy after he ate his lunch, like I told him.
So cute,
guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. We'll talk again tomorrow morning. Scripts and Tricks, 8 a.m. Purple shirts. I'll see you there.
All right. Have a good day.